Hello everyone, it's February 19th. I'm northeast of Atlanta, zone 7. It's 40 degrees outside and guess what? It's raining. Been raining pretty much most of the time, seems like since the beginning of time. So the long range forecast for us is normal to a little bit warmer weather and extra wet. Now that's what we were last year too, which made kind of my beginning garden to be a joke. Everything was so wet and the blights hit so badly that there just really wasn't that much to be accomplished with an early garden. So what I'm going to do this year is I'm only going to start a few things for the early garden, and then I'll be planting the beans and the stuff that did well. But I want to show you what I picked on. Bush Early Girl. Notice all these letters. This is different kind of resistances to blights and funguses and nasty stuff, fusarium, wilts, and whatever. So instead of all my heirloom varieties, I've really, my early guys are all going to have lots of these numbers to see if we can beat off the nasty weather. So Bush Early Girl. Always got to try and get the peppers going. Poblano L, 5-inch long, 2.5-inch wide. Amazingly, at a 600 to 1800 Scoville, that's about as hot as really we like to get. A whole bunch of people on YouTube have been saying that this Ozark Giant is a fabulous pepper. It looks like it's an heirloom, but we're going to give it a try anyway in our weather, because the peppers tend to do pretty well if they can get some sunshine. I don't have any problem with just the plain old green peppers, and a particularly fond variety of mine has been the YOLO Wonder. These are 2018. They can be a little tough to get to germinate. Of course, that's true for all the peppers, but these gave us just fabulous peppers the last couple of years. So we're going to do them again this year. My wife is always looking at the yellow and the red ones, so I picked up a Canary Bell sweet pepper that's supposed to turn yellow, and then to keep her real happy, I picked up a crispy hybrid that turns a real bright red, so she can get her two colors. And then always we got to try and sneak in more early tomatoes. This is a La Roma. It's a determinate, which means you pretty much get all the tomatoes in one big giant flush, and it's got quite a few wonderful letters there after it, so I'm hoping it'll survive. And then who can't do something also known as sugar lump, your little 3/4 to 1.25 inch little cherry type tomatoes with clusters of 6 to 12. So this is my early start for the outdoor garden, just that. I've got another 6-8 kinds of tomatoes that I'll be starting here in another couple of weeks on into the middle and late spring, early summer, and several more varieties of peppers. But this is going to be my early start. Now, what I did that worked very well for me the last few years is I've been starting them. They're slow to germinate, even with heat mats, they're slow to germinate. So I've been working with starting them on damp paper towels. Now it's the 19th. These were started on the 13th. And let's see if we can get these up. Yeah, see these have sprouted. So these are ready to go in the ground, get potted up. Here's that YOLO Wonder, which can be a pain to get to sprout. And I can say at this point I've got 6 seeds there and nobody has sprouted. So now our tomato, our Bush Early Girl, as you can see, we've got sprouts here, so they're ready to get into the dirt. Our Poblano pepper, good sprouting activity, so they'll go into dirt. That big Ozark Giant, look at that. You believe that? That's the best growth of any of the peppers that I've started, is this thing. Look at that. Holy mackerel. those are going to be some good, strong, vigorous plants. Then we've got that red crispy pepper, and they're just getting started, so they'll probably wait another week. My Roma tomatoes, they're still just sitting there staring at me. And then our little baby tomato, little garden delight, you can see the seeds of them is just sitting there staring at me. So they're going to wait for a while. But we're going to get some of these other guys into some dirt. Now, since these seeds are small and they only have a little bit going, I like to start them off in a seed starting mix. Now, the last stuff I found was Jiffy, Fairy Morse makes it, Miracle Grow makes, everybody makes one. But what you get is a very, very fine material. There's no big lumps to, you know, you put your little sprouted seed and it's sitting on top of a little lump of wood or something, and you wonder why it just dies. Well, it can't get any soil. Now, this stuff has got an awful lot of peat in it, very fine peat in it, which means it's a nightmare to get it wet. So I put it in a bucket to start with. Then I add a whole bunch of water. Some people soak them in the pots first. I tend to find, for me, what that means is part of the starting mix gets wet, and the rest of it's dry as a bone, and it seems I can't get past that point. So I put a bunch of water in, and then I'm going to work it till I get this stuff wet. Then I'll put it in the little pots and transfer my seeds. But I want. So as I said, it's February 19th. I've looked back on my past videos, and the last couple of years, last 2, 3, 4 years, I've been starting my early seeds in the last couple of weeks of February. So some years, depending upon how it goes, I say later on I was late getting them started, and some years I'm early getting them started. So since we don't know what it's going to be in a month, 2 months, I'm going to go with what has more or less been working for me. But as I said, the number of varieties I'm going to start out with is cut way down, because all of my heirloom varieties last year of tomatoes were just wiped out. A lot of them we didn't get any tomatoes at all off of, or we struggled to get a couple. So at that point, there's no point. There's no point in planting them. Just wait till later. So let's move this out of the way. We've got a heat mat over here. As you can see, I've got a heat mat right there, and the temperature is saying it's 73.9. Well, there's nothing on it, and there's a fan blowing, so it really is preset for 80. And when I get something on it, so the fan isn't blowing all the heat off, it'll be real good. So we're going to get these little pots filled up, and we'll be ready to move those seedlings in. And it's a whole lot easier when I know ahead of time that these little containers have got wet soil in them. It's moist. You can use the heavier potting mix if that's what you have. I just will take every advantage I can get, and this nice fine stuff here just makes it really, really easy for those little seedlings to get started. If it wasn't so wet, sometimes I use sifted compost, but it's so wet you can't sift it. It's all soaking wet. So gotta use store-bought stuff instead of my own, because the store-bought stuff is not going to be a pile of mud. You can still start your seeds straight in the pots. You know, gotta find what works for you. I usually do a combination of both, but I knew I was going to be making this video, so I did them all on the paper towels. So now we're going to come over and I found one of the nicest tools out there for planting stuff is a pencil. So let's see how we're doing. Let's see, the YOLO Wonder was nothing. The aroma tomatoes can wait. And the crispy hybrid red is looking very good. So we're going to get a couple of these planted. Open up a little sandwich bag. Slide out the paper towel. See, there's a really nice one right there. So, people use all kinds of things to pull these off with. I don't know. Fingernail in your finger. Now we're going to just give it a little mash right there. Make sure that little piece of root is stuck in. And we got this little guy right here. Give him a little stick. And this one right here is also starting. And looks like that one is also cracked, but we're going to let it go till it gets better. Alright, now need to make a label for that. Ooh, now these big whopper Ozark Giants. Wow, these are just incredible. Looks like I planted 5 seeds, and all 5 of them have made huge new plants. So, boy, if they'll produce peppers anything like they sprout, this is going to be fabulous. So, we've even got started on a leaf. Look at that root. So, I'll make a nice deep hole. That planted in there. We'll move on here to the next one. Then the next one. That'll give me that one. Going to need a label, so we'll put the bag right there. Now the Poblano L. We usually manage to do a lot of Poblanos. They're really quite tasty, and for some reason they'll produce when the other ones aren't doing too well. So there's a real nice start. Pick the next one. That little start. Alright, as you can see, I've got all of them done. I've got everybody with a label. I did start some Cosmo lettuce down here. That's from a hydroponic system, so I need some fresh plants for that. Now this is all going to go up here on my heat mat. I put some pieces of 2x4 under to raise it up because they're going to want to be close to the lights. So we're going to slide this in here, and I've got a plastic top that goes over it. Just going to have to move around until I find it. Get my cover on it. This is a roasting pan. My 4-foot rack fits 2 of these containers, and then I got this little space left over. And amazingly, a roasting pan fits that space very, very nicely. So there we go. Now we've got the moisture trap set. And I think we can slide this back in. So we've got them up there under the light. We've got a heat mat that'll bring it up to about 80. We're holding the moisture in. These guys ought to be good to go in a short period of time. So that's how I get things started. Works pretty well for me. I've got a big garden to do and a small space to get it all cranking out in. I want to show you when you harvest your, just toss in, when you harvest your horseradish, you're going to get these little tops. Don't throw these little tops away. You can save them up, plant them, and you'll end up with some first-class plants. First-class plants ready to go back in the ground. We just dug these up. So these are the ones that we did from like a week and a half ago. They really take off. So there's 2 plants there. So I'm going to get these potted up in some dirt also, because horseradish is wonderful, and there's 3 free plants. So thank you for watching. If you like these, please subscribe. Videos will be coming pretty often now because we're moving into that time of year. So this is Grow and Eat This, Dave Ramsey, northeast of Atlanta, Zone 7. Thank you for watching.